Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room, and of course, I am the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, I'm going to review now All Elite Wrestling Wednesday Night Dynamite, along with NXT, or as it should be called, kids, Wednesday Night Work Rate. It's two phenomenal shows. Uh, really well done. Of course, if you look at the ratings there, Dynamite beat NXT for the third consecutive week going head to head. Uh, Dynamite still managed to top a million viewers. They did 1.014 million viewers compared to 712,000 NXT. Dynamite ranked fifth in the cable top 150. NXT made it to about 30. When it comes to for total viewership rankings, Dynamite ranked 25th, while NXT ranked 35th. So still some decent numbers there. So let's see what's going on here. I'm going to review Dynamite first because that's the show that I watched first. You know, it would probably make more sense for me to watch NXT first because Dynamite always has the replay afterwards. So it would probably make more sense for me to watch NXT, then turn around and watch the replay of Dynamite, and then that way I could get everything out of the way instead of having to wait almost like a good 12 to 14 hours before I can turn around and watch NXT on demand. But I'm more amped about Dynamite. So take a quick look at everything. Of course, I'm going to try to zip through this so we're not wasting everybody's time here. But you started out with the tag team tournament here. We had the Best Friends taking on SCU. Interesting way to start off. They talked about the tag team tournament here. They rolled some packages, but the big surprise was, hey, what's up, Fran Yelling? SCU got jumped before the bell by the Lucha Brothers. I guess they're going to have the Lucha Brothers are going to be heels for this go around. They gave Christopher Daniels a package pile driver or the Fear Factor on the railing. This brought out some guys from the back, including Scorpio Sky, the Young Bucks checking on Christopher Daniels. They had to cart him away, and so Scorpio Sky would step in to replace Christopher Daniels at the last moment. And I like this because what I liked about it is like little bitty things, attention to details, is that Scorpio Sky wasn't dressed in his ring gear. He just had on regular clothes, and so he just took some tape from the EMT, taped himself up, took off his shirt, and wrestled in his jeans and shoes. And they had a hell of a match against the Best Friends. The Best Friends, I guess maybe you could say they worked as heels, but it was just like, well, they're in a tournament too. They're trying to win it. So they had, I think, a pretty good outing. SCU gets the win. Very entertaining, and I want to give shout outs to Heavy J and Marcos Munez. I want to say thank you guys very much for joining me live here. I'll try to get your questions in just a second here. Next, we had Santana and Ortiz take out John Silver and Alex Reynolds, the couple guys from Evolve, from what I've been told. They won 2 minutes with a street sweeper. I enjoyed this. There's only one complaint I had about this was Ortiz. Ortiz was hamming it up. Santana looked fucking cool. I mean, I was like, yeah, but Ortiz was just like biting the rope, trying to act like a crazy guy. And I'm like, come on, man, Ortiz, man, you're cool with LAX or used to be LAX, but so I don't think you need to do that. So I just wish you wouldn't do that. Next, we had a women's title match. We had the champion Riho defending against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Pretty good match. Now, there's a lot of criticism with Britt Baker. A lot of people are saying Britt Baker is green. She's not that great. I don't think she's that bad. Now, granted, I'm not saying she should be the women's champion right now. She's one of the end-all be-alls, but I don't think she's as bad as some people are making her out to be. There was a few little missteps in there. It seems like some parts in there they weren't completely on the same page. I think I'm gonna chalk that up to more so a language barrier than anything else. But no, she actually did pretty good. She hooked on the lockjaw. You thought Riho was in jeopardy, but she managed to flip it around, reverse it, get the pin. So I think it was good. It's got Riho established as a star. Next, we had again another tag team tournament match. We had the Lucha Brothers and versus the Jurassic Express. Now, as you probably know by now, Luchasaurus suffered a thigh injury. We don't know the extent of it yet, so had Marco Stunt going to go in and fill in for Luchasaurus, teaming up with Jungle Boy. I think it was a decent match. I think maybe it went a little longer than what it should have. I think, if knowing what I know now, I think the SCU best friends match could have gone just a little bit longer, and maybe this could have gone a little bit shorter. Now, Marco Stunt's catching some shit about this, and I can understand it because the argument is, I mean, he's a small guy, and they were selling for him, and I'm like, well, I mean, even if a kid's like 150 pounds, I mean, you take 150 pounds and just throw it on top of you, yeah, I'm gonna wince and everything, but he wasn't doing anything like crazy, like trying to body slam, Pentagon. He wasn't trying to give like a spear to Phoenix. I mean, he was working things the best he could. I just think like something like Rey Mysterio, or more so like Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley wasn't that big of a guy, and he used what he could to his advantage. But for the most part, he got his ass handed to him. But Lucha Brothers get the win. I don't think it's that horrible. I think maybe they sold for him a little too much, but nothing, that over the top. I mean, because you got to think, when you got two guys like the Lucha Brothers, that big, if they were legitimately going to get in a fight with a guy that small, they'd fucking decimate him. So I think I think he did. Yeah, I think it should have been a shorter match, but if that's my complaint, I guess maybe. But the right team won, and I guess that's the bottom line. And plus, it generates a little bit more sympathy for Jurassic Express because, well, they've got the out. Well, they didn't have Luchasaurus. He's out. He's injured. And as far as the extent of his injury, now somebody was reporting he's going to be out anywhere 3 to 6 months. Luchasaurus immediately responded to that on Twitter. It's like, oh, really? I didn't know that. The doctor said I should quit wrestling after my hip injury. So how long is he going to be out? I honestly don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Next, we get to a tag team match. We have Pac and Jon Moxley taking on Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Uh, Great tag team match. I think the highlight was when Omega goes under the ring, pulls out the barbed wire broom. Moxley goes to the other side of the ring, pulls out a barbed wire baseball bat. They're ready to hit each other with it. Then Pac actually does something pretty smart. Well, first, Moxley runs the ref out of the ring because the ref's not going to want to hang around there with the guy swinging a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat at him. But Pac goes in there and is like, whoa, 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 are you fucking crazy? Takes the weapons from both of them and throws it out. It's like, he doesn't want to get disqualified. Why? Because it'll hurt his record. It'll hurt his chances for maybe a title opportunity. So that makes sense. Moxley takes exception to him, gives him the double deuce, if you know what I mean, or the California howdy. Hits him with, in AEW, it's called the paradigm shift, that double arm DDT. This bails on him. This leaves Pac at the mercy of both Hangman Page and Omega. They beat the crap out of him. Hits him with a V trigger, then the dead eye, gets the pin. Good guys stand tall. But next week we're going to get Pac versus Moxley. Going to want to see how that goes. Also, we're going to have Lucha Brothers versus Private Party and SCU versus the Dark Order in the tag team tournament. I'm thinking that's going to be so fucking sweet. Then we get to the main event here. Chris Jericho versus Darby Allin. Ladies and gentlemen, a star was made that night. Darby Allin goes in there, puts up a big fight against Le Champion. And the highlight of that is when Jericho wrapped duct tape Darby Allin's hands behind his back. And Darby Allin continued to fight. He kicked out. He moved, ducked, and dodged. He did a no-handed springboard moonsault off the middle rope. Looks like he was going to go up top, going to try for a coffin drop. Gets interrupted by Jack Hager. Hager knocks him down. Jericho locks him in the walls of Jericho. Allen's got no place to go, has to verbally tap. I kind of wish they would have done referee stoppage because, and this is like a nitpick here, Darby Allin's thing is that his thing is that pain means nothing to him. He's he's half dead, whatever you want to whatever you want to call it. Oh, sorry, somebody's messaging me here. No, leave me alone. Anyway, Darby Allin's supposed to be like half dead or whatever. Pain means nothing to him. Um, and then, which makes sense, but I kind of wish he would have like hit him with like a knockout blow, like the Judas Effect elbow, and he has to pin him there. Because I think like a submission is just not the way to go, especially if he has to verbally. Because I think it kind of like I don't want to say ruins his character, but I think it kind of is like the antithesis of what his character is. Pain means nothing to me. I don't give up. And so if you knock him out, he's got no way to defend himself. You generate a little bit more sympathy. Or if the referee just stops the match, because he's not going to give up, he can't get out of it, like they did with the Omega and the Brutalizer. He's got no way to defend himself, so the referee's going to do the stoppage. I think that would have been the way to go. But no major complaints. Great show. They're setting up for Young Bucks versus Inner Circle at Full Gear, building up Jericho versus Cody. So pretty good. Switching gears now to NXT. I think it was rather fun there. Great chance. Tommaso Ciampa making his return in 7 months. I guess he's on the John Cena fast track or whatever it is, but he was supposed to be out for like a year. He was out for 7 months, so he's coming back 5 months early. Very impressive. Defeats Angel Garcia in a little over 3 minutes. Undisputed Era took out the Dream, the Velveteen Dream, left him laying out for what he did last week, so that's going to leave a gap there. Have Imperium, who I've really never really got a chance to check out until recently. I've been avoiding, up until now, I've really been avoiding WWE programming, including WWE NXT and NXT up until now. But I like what I've seen right now with Imperium. I kind of like the whole gimmick. I enjoy that, but they beat Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Next, Io Shirai took out King Carter, basically a squash match, really amazing. God, I really like Io. I really do. Let's see. Io talked about how she wants a shot against the champion, but Rhea Ripley came out and said, keep your words out, keep my name out of your mouth. I love that confidence. It looks like they're going to set up with the champion, and then plus Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Rhea Ripley. I don't know where they're going with this. I thought they were going to set it up where they were going to have Dakota Kai or maybe even Tegan Nox, but it doesn't maybe that's what they're going to do in the long run. I just don't understand why they're doing it. I'm thinking it would be a great comeback story if Dakota Kai's the one who defeats what's her name? Blanket right now, but I think she should be the one to take the belt off of her. Next, we have Dominic. It's still to be Donovan Dijak, but instead it's Dominic Dijakovic taking on Keith Lee in the rubber match. They're all 1-1-1. All their previous matches, I've seen the last couple, they've been really good, and this was no exception. But then it kind of gets ruined by Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong interrupts. He attacks both men, leads to no contest. William Regal says, "Okay, well, you know what, Sunshine? Now you got to face them both in a triple threat match." I wish the bad guys would quit doing this because it's been done 100 times over. The bad guy thinks, "Oh, well, there's two guys. I have to face the winner." Well, I know. I'll just attack them both, and there won't be a winner, and therefore I won't have to face either of them. It don't work that way, people. You think the bad guys will learn by now? It just makes them come off as stupid. Next, Matt Riddle beat Bronson Reed in I guess another squash match there. News that Kushida is going to be out with a hairline fracture in his wrist. Tegan Nox defeated Tainara. Good to see Tegan Nox back. They get confronted by Shayna Baszler, Marina Sharif, and Jasmine Duke. I love that line that Shayna said that Tegan's running out of limbs to rehab. I thought that was actually kind of funny. Killian Dane squashed Boa. And then the main event, Damian Priest and Pete Dunne had the match of the night. Great match on the show. Uh, Dunn was given hell to Priest. I think Damian Priest, the former Punishment Martinez, gave his best perform. Well, he really hasn't performed all that much, but in this kind of level, it just shows that he's ready for this level. I'm hoping that we see a little bit more. Um, you had Priest, he won via low blow and followed up by his finisher, the Reckoning. So I'm hoping they're setting this up for a rematch. So really great night of wrestling. I love the Wednesday Night Wars, or as it should be called, or as like I said at the top of the show here, it should just be called Work Rate Wednesday, because it is absolutely amazing shows. When there's competition, I mean the fans always win. I'm loving this. I got to give the edge a little bit more to AEW, just because they didn't have as, NXT was filled with a lot of squash matches, which I understand why. You're trying to get over talent. You're trying to make people look strong, make them look tough, build up for the future. I just felt like everything on AEW had a little purpose and there were no squash matches. And by the way, there's like some video going around now. There was a kid dressed up like Orange Cassidy in the crowd. They brought him in after the show to do a little segment. The kid's impression of Orange Cassidy was spot on. I absolutely had a great time watching it. If you can find it, it's on AEW's Facebook page, I believe. It's got a link to their YouTube, but it's hilarious. Let's see here. Let me get back to from the Internet Infantry. Let's see here. I'm going to start here. So good morning to Fran Yelly. Appreciate you guys being here. Heavy J, he asked, what do you think about Bushiroad buying Stardom? Oh, I'm glad you said that, Heavy J, because it's Bushiroad, not New Japan, that purchased Stardom. Now, I've been reading on the dirt sheets like you that WWE tried to buy Stardom earlier this year. It was going to be part of their plan to make NXT Japan. But the reason Ogawa didn't sell to them was because they didn't like their plan. Basically WWE's plan was buy Stardom, merge it with a men's promotion, create NXT Japan, profit. They really didn't know what they were going to what the details were, who was going to be running it, what the exact plan was, where they were going. And doing business out in the East is a lot different than doing business out here in the West. When you try to go do business in the UK, well, money talks, bullshit walks, but over in the East, man, you're going to have a plan. If they're going to sell you, I mean, they're very, very, let's just say they're really, really into their jobs over in Japan. And so if you're going to do that, if you're going to turn the keys over the kingdom, you want to make sure that the guy that you're turning the keys over to doesn't wreck the fucking car. I've even heard rumors now that WWE's talking about buying Big Japan of all places. I think they looked at maybe Pro Wrestling Noah, but I don't think that's going to pan out. So Big Japan of all places is one place they're looking at. I like the idea, because the reason why they chose to that Ogawa decided to sell to Bushiroad was because they were basically going to take what they were doing, and they were just going to make it bigger. And I think they're even going to get a 30-minute TV show out of it, which is huge for them. I'm hoping they get it to where I can get Stardom on, along with my subscription to New Japan World. I can also get Stardom stuff, so I'd love to see that. More of an NXT guy putting non-stop wrestling with no in-between promos and segments is tired. Yeah, I don't think NXT's a bad TV show. I think they do need to get out of Full Sail every now and then to kind of freshen it up just a little bit. I'd like to see them do longer matches, more stakes at line. I mean, I understand the purpose of squash matches, but it's turning like one of my gripes with NWA Power is that it's like, if you out of the 5 matches, 4 of them are squash matches. I understand the purpose of it. I know why they do it, but I'd like to see some more competitive stuff. I mean, I know you got to put over your talent, you got to, do it real quick, but when you have like multiple 2 and 3 minute squash matches, and it's just every match, I mean, it's like every week. So far the last 2 weeks, it's been like 4 squash matches, 1 actually decent match. I think you got to show me a little bit more of that, and I wish NXT would do that too. Show me a little bit more competition. Show me number 1 contenders matches, little tag team matches. Mix up things a little bit. And and you can bring in some people and have some squash matches. I mean, that's fine, but don't I think you need to space out the squash matches. I guess is the point I'm trying to make. That's just my opinion. Let's see. AEW needs to get women to rehearse some of their spots like NXT does. I kind of agree. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's just the women. I think it's more of like an experience level. And plus, when you're dealing with two competitors who don't speak the same language, I know there's some like words in wrestling that are universal. Like a suplex is a fucking suplex. It doesn't matter if I'm here in the United States, I go to the United Kingdom, I go to Mexico, I go to Japan. A suplex is a suplex. And from when I talked to this guy, this is when I talked to the Mind of Wrestling, JT LaMotta. I asked him, well, what do you do when, you don't speak the same language? He's like, well, there's always somebody there who speaks both languages, and you kind of work everything out beforehand. I don't think what it is necessarily like practicing it. I just think it's like an experience thing. And so I think the more experience that Britt Baker gets, the better off she's gonna be. So I don't think she's bad. I just think it's just gonna be experience, and that's gonna come with time. Hey, Boom Boom, what would you think if Katrina Mil Mortis came in and took over the Dark Order? I actually kind of like that idea because they do have an affiliation with AAA. So yeah, they would be able to get Mil Mortis, a Ministry of Darkness. I don't know if I'd call it the Ministry of Darkness, but make him part of the Dark Order. I mean, that would be cool. I mean, it would fit. Now, as far as Katrina goes, storyline wise, she's dead over in Lucha Underground, and plus, I don't know if she's still wrestling now. I don't know if she has any kind of contract. But yeah, you could get was it Ricky Martinez or Ricky Ortiz? Oh God, who was it that played? It was Puerto Rican that played Mil Mortez. But if he's still working with AAA, I could definitely see that happening. I wouldn't mind seeing that go to like a little bit of a trio team. Rather than the slow build, this is from Marcos Munez. I rather see for the slow building rather than wasting pay-per-view like on TV. John's Moxley versus Pac could be great versus. Well, no, because you got Moxley versus Omega, so you'd have to wait another pay-per-view, and plus they could be setting up for a triple threat down the line, so that could be the payoff there. You got to wait and see what the payoff is. Jevy J, I don't want to see the stench of WWE in my pro res. Agreed. Andre Corbelli, good evening or good night, everyone. It's actually morning here. It's about right around 11:30 here, right here in Richmond. And then Forsaken, by the way, one of the originals, he says, yes, hopefully WWE does not get a footing in Japan. Look how bad they messed up the UK scene. Well, it's going to be different. I don't think they're going to be complete. I think it's inevitable. I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when, because I think WWE is going to have to realize if they're going to make the push to get in Japan, they're going to have to make sure they come in with a plan, and because this is going to take more than just opening up like a suitcase full of money to get the Japanese on board. So they'll just have to change up their business strategy a little bit, because every time I've been reading Chris Charlton's book, Eggshells, and it seems like, there's always been like WWE's always had problems out in Japan, but I think it's just, and I think it all stems back to competing business philosophies. Because not to say that anybody's right or anybody's wrong, it's just two different philosophies. It's like a football coach, like one believes in the power I, and the other one believes in the spread. Another coach believes in the option. It's just, not that one's better than the other, or not that one's wrong compared to all the others. It's just different competing philosophies. So same thing there. Whew. All right. Well, you know what? I finally got us another show on the book. I finally got us AEW NXT review. Even talked about some news there. So I appreciate it, guys. I'll tell you what. Again, we're looking for some help here on KocoSports. So if you're interested in maybe doing this, shoot me an email, boomboom418@yahoo.com. Let me know if you're interested. Wouldn't mind seeing like a little demo if you got one. If not, make one. Just do something on YouTube. It doesn't have to be a big deal. And help us out. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Go bug Dave Coco over on Twitch. Just go to Twitch and then look up KocoSports. He's usually playing Fire Pro Wrestling, NHL Hockey, or Madden. Just aggravate him there. Buy his book, Operation Freak Show, on Amazon.com. And I will see you guys later. So until next time, kids, the boom just went bang, and I am out.